I'm here with Trevor Linney, Openreach's Network Technology Director, and we're going to talk this afternoon a little bit about some new technology that Openreach have been installing above and beyond the optical test for fibre to the home. Trevor, can you tell us a little bit about this new speed testing technology that you're putting in place?
Absolutely, my pleasure. So Openreach is busy rolling out full fibre, and that delivers ultra-fast speeds. And one of the things that customers, be it our CPs or their customers, they want to know that they're getting the speed. But speed test isn't as simple as everybody thinks of running it. And one of the things that customers can do is they run a speed test and they see less than the product they've got because of their Wi-Fi or the device or various other things. So what we as Openreach wanted to do was to develop a definitive speed test, something we could say categorically across our network we were delivering the speeds that our customers were paying for. And in order to do that, we have deployed these. So this is what we affectionately refer to as a smart SFP. It's actually a device you can plug into the network equipment that can run a full IP speed test.
Well, that sounds great. And can you tell us a little bit about the process? Who's using this? It's presumably used from a central location. How does it benefit Openreach?
People are very, very sensitive to speed and the ability to be able to demonstrate it, and we wanted to be able to put that in place for our customers as soon as we can. We are building towards 25 million homes in the UK, which means any capability we build has to be zero touch and fully automated for our customers in order to make it scale across millions of customers. We have around 1,000 handover nodes across the UK, and there's one of these little devices installed in every one of those head-end switches. We've then developed a set of automated tools. So a speed test is requested, it reconfigures the network to run the test. It then does a downstream test and optionally an upstream test, then reconfigures the network back and then presents the results. So we've effectively extended the range of testing we already do, but added this optional speed test to it to help really provide that absolute certainty that the network is delivering everything that it should.
Well, that sounds fantastic, and presumably that is a much faster response time to get to a customer's query about the speed, and presumably it prevents you having to send an engineer out to site.
And if the network wasn't perceived to be performing, and we didn't have a way of measuring the network, then that could potentially result in an engineer having to visit the customer's home, and then he or she having to connect a tester in order to run a speed test, which then, if that turned out to be okay, was effectively a wasted visit. Now the CPs can request this test. As you say, it's fully automated without a truck roll, which then says actually you're getting all the speed that's needed, the network is absolutely good, and therefore removes that visit or enables an engineer to troubleshoot perhaps a Wi-Fi problem rather than just blaming the broadband.
You've chosen to use VIAVI's Fusion OS and Smart SFPs to construct your speed testing capability. Can you tell us a bit about that decision?
What really appealed to us about the Smart SFP solution was the ability to develop a definitive speed test. But that did require us to deploy thousands of these measurement probes across the network and to be able to run tests against them. So the combination of equipment we could install locally, so we could genuinely demark the point of the network where we wanted to measure to, plus the ability of the Fusion platform to effectively give us a single system to talk to that would then initiate the test from the right place and then present the results in a way that we wanted to, was a really critical factor for us.
Could you tell us a little bit about Fusion and why you chose that platform?
So what we really wanted to do is almost give a speedometer for be able to do on any sort of customer's line. In order to do that, we've installed little pieces of electronics like this in thousands of locations across the UK, and then brought them under a sort of a single unified management system in the form of Fusion. So rather than us having to worry about the complexity of managing all of those things individually, they're all available on that one sort of test platform. And that gives us the ability to run all of these speed tests in a fully automated way, with the results then presented to our own systems, which we can then present to our own customers in a seamless way. And it also gives us effectively a platform to, in future, if we want to augment that capability with other sort of test tools and types of intelligence around our service test in the future.
Trevor, why in particular did you choose to work with VIAVI on this particular solution?
We've already got a strong partnership with VIAVI, looking across a number of different places of test and diagnostics. So everything from the handheld testers that engineers have through to optical test heads and now the speed test. So it was effectively taking advantage of another one of the capabilities, in this case a unique capability in the form of the Smart SFP from VIAVI. Automation is absolutely critical to Openreach. So being able to leverage the Fusion platform to build modern interfaces into our OSS so that we could build these automated tests as part of our existing interfaces was critical. We didn't want to have to go to our customers and say they have to do something new or different, which they then have to integrate. We wanted to make sure it was seamless in terms of the way they consume it, and so that's how we've built it, as augmented our existing test and diagnostics capabilities, but with this new and unique capability to say, once you've checked every layer, be it the physical layer and then the effect of the transport layer, then you say the cherry on top is to be able to do a full IP speed test to really prove that the service is as it's expected, and that's what the SFP gives us the capability to do.
Can you talk a little bit about the actual rollout of a Smart SFP, maybe in comparison to installing white box solutions or software into the exchanges?
What you have in each of those exchanges is a piece of equipment. So rather than having to cable across to a new box which needs rack space and power and connectivity and all of those things you associate with a sort of a standalone test head. There's no additional cabling, there was no additional power, there was no additional need for building anything separate, and that meant that the installation process effectively became as straightforward as an engineer visiting the exchange, locating the right port, plugging this in, and walking away again effectively. So we've done that thousands of times across the country, and it's been a really straightforward and low pain way of actually getting that, but with dedicated hardware that enables us to deliver that definitive speed test.
It's very interesting, and I know it's been a very fast rollout of the SFPs into the exchanges. So that's great. And how do you think this system might expand or be enhanced in the future?
I think the way that we're looking forward is to future potentially higher speed products and indeed future optical technologies. So if you look at the roadmap for full fibre, that goes to 10 gig and beyond technologies, and should Openreach choose to deploy those technologies, we'd expect to be able to again assure those higher speed products in exactly the same way. So we need to move beyond the 1 gig capability of a device such as this onto higher speed devices. The other thing that customers are becoming more sensitive to is not just pure speed, it's about the quality of that, it's about the delay, it's about the delay variation or jitter, which is things you'll hear gamers worry about. So being able to measure those kind of parameters on the network as well as pure speed is all something that comes out of this device.
Well, it sounds like a very bright future, so thank you very much for taking the time to explain it all to us today. Trevor Linney.